The victim told police she was confined to her bed, chained there for days. In the affidavit, police described injuries and sores that covered the victim's body and noted her feet were infected and all her toenails were missing. The victim named Wendt the primary abuser. Investigators determined the victim experienced prolonged, torturous physical abuse. Besides that, police say the home was covered in animal feces, along with more than a dozen neglected animals.
The smell that came out of it was like rotten flesh.
I think had she been in there probably a week longer, we'd probably been working a homicide.
All birds just must die, just like the mission that I'm living, but I really am a tired, tortured guy with the rust eye. I must try when I'm thinking of the different pieces, and there's not enough. Why can't I get a little bit of trust? I'm broken, I'm going, there's no way that I will survive. I'm broken, like I'm not made to be alive. I'm broken.
This case happened just a few miles west of where I'm sitting right now. And it is hands down one of the most sickening, depraved torture cases I have ever come across involving an adult woman. We're going to call the victim D on this video in order to protect her identity because she is a survivor, thank God. D is a 29-year-old woman with mental delays who should have been protected, but instead was dragged into a literal house of horrors in Del City, Oklahoma. What happened to her inside those walls wasn't just abuse, it was prolonged, sadistic, soul-crushing torture. The kind that makes you question how anyone could be capable of that level of evil. And as if that wasn't enough, the animals in that house suffered right alongside her in unimaginable neglect. I first heard about this nightmare through body cam and police interview footage on the YouTube channel Monkey Cam Patrol. But that was only the beginning. I couldn't let it go, so I pulled the full police affidavit. And what I found was even worse than the video showed. Even if you've already seen the video about this case on the YouTube channel Monkey Cam Patrol, you still need to listen to me today because you have only begun to break the surface of what occurred inside that house of horrors at 3909 Southeast 24th Street in Del City, Oklahoma. I give absolute all the credit to Monkey Cam Patrol for bringing this case into light because our local media seemed to have covered this horrific case up. Sadly, I never heard a peep about this case on local media. I only found a couple of sources that even showed this case online. I couldn't believe when I watched this body cam footage and thought how disturbing, and I didn't even know about it. Unbelievable that that could have happened so close to me. And I'd not known. It was heartbreaking to me. Very heartbreaking. Before we begin, my name is Holly. Welcome to the Murder She Shed, where I don't cover anything up. I really don't. I expose everything, and because I tell every detail on my channel, YouTube often likes for me to get lost in this big YouTube world. So help a nerdy true crime girl out and hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I appreciate all you guys. I love all you guys. And I thank you. Grab you some tea and we'll get started. Every suspect is innocent until proven otherwise in the court of law. Have to say that. Zip my mouth now and call me Patty. I don't know where that came from. It's actually Holly. It's not Patty. Anyway, I also have my two dogs on here. Here's Simon. Max is over there. Reason you might hear a small, weird hum in the background. It's because I have the air conditioner on because they get really hot in here. I'm hoping it don't mess up the sound too much or I'm going to have to re-record. And I don't want to. But I might have to before it's over with. Also, if you want to hear more about my husband, I will leave that on the end of the video. A lot of y'all know that he possibly has lymphoma and we're going through all that right now. So if you want to hear any more about that, I'll leave it on the end. Right now, I'm just going to talk about this story. Let's start with the main evil character in this nightmare, Jennifer Wendt. On her TikTok and Facebook pages, Jennifer painted herself as a hero. Her news feed was filled with adorable pictures of rescued animals. She posted emotional stories about how she was a hero that saved dogs, cats, and horses, claiming that if she couldn't find them a forever home, well, she'd just keep them as her own. Poor things.
This is Jet. He's 7 years old. And he's having some health issues. He's got a little bit of a snotty, runny nose. And I've been working with getting Pedialyte down him. He's extremely dehydrated. I'm needing help with vet care. He's in trouble. I feel very heartbroken. I've had him since he was a 6-month-old kitten. He was a hoarder rescue. Well, I'm not going to let her go the way she wants. Yeah, I caught you on that inner side, didn't I? Every time you turn around.
This is the same Jennifer Wendt who was charged with animal abuse in Shawnee, Oklahoma back in October 2023. Even while on probation for cruelty to animals, she continued posting her rescue content like nothing had happened. Research shows a strong, well-documented connection between animal cruelty and violence towards humans. Animal abuse is often an early warning sign for domestic violence, child abuse, and escalating sadistic behavior. Jennifer Wendt's actions followed that pattern perfectly. Jennifer Wendt married Gary Churchill in 2013, and it appears they were evicted from a couple of homes they had rented in the past because they would not pay the rent. In fact, they were forced out of the homes after they wouldn't pay. At some point, Jennifer and Gary moved into her father, Jack Pearson's home that was located at 3909 Southeast 24th Street, Del City, Oklahoma. Jennifer began inviting strangers and casual friends to move in, openly calling them her family, even though they shared no blood relations. So the house became a revolving door of people she had chosen to move into her father's home. Among them was CODY LINNELL. Jennifer and Gary welcomed him into the home and soon began referring to him publicly as their son, although he was not blood related either. CODY is a military veteran who struggles with depression and anxiety. CODY had been friends with the victim Dee since grade school and referred to her as his own sister. He also was dating Dee's best friend. There is people on Facebook that are defending CODY, saying he was also a victim of Jennifer. But I do not believe this. He was able to get away. He could have told what was occurring in that house, and yet he chose not to. Dee has developmental delays that leaves her without the full mental capacity of a typical 29-year-old woman. She seems much younger. She also spent her entire life living with her mother, as far as I know. Dee's mother was desperate for a safer place for her daughter to live, and she believed she could trust CODY to help watch out for Dee inside Jennifer's home. Two serious safety concerns at their own residence was the cause of Dee moving into Jennifer Wendt's home. Dangerous smoke growing throughout the house and the presence of an oxygen tank being used in a home filled with several other people, and Dee smoked. So on January 19, 2025, Dee moved into Jennifer Wendt's home. Her mother had met Jennifer and felt this new environment would finally be a safer place for her vulnerable daughter. She felt like it'd be safer than at her own residence where she lived with all these people. So what was meant to be a protective solution would soon spiral into something far more complicated, emotional, and concerning than anyone could have even imagined. After Dee's mother lost all communication with her daughter, she became concerned.
I'm not able to talk to Dee very much. I keep asking to come see her. Oh, we're out of town. We're busy. We're doing things. I would call. Can get a hold of her. Last time I actually seen me to where she looked normal, looked like she was happy, was Valentine's Day. And then after that, it was slowly to where I wasn't able to talk to her for like a week. And then when I did, the Jennifer lady would be right there. And it was like my daughter was being coached to say, like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. My daughter don't do that all the time. My daughter talks to me normally like she does it, freely. So I called all day long trying to get a hold of this lady. She finally got a hold of me. And she's telling me, yeah, we're making write sentences because she's stealing stuff. She's, getting into things. She keeps falling on her face. We don't know why. She's got a big old sore on her bottom where she keeps falling all the time. And I was like, that don't sound right. You know, I know my daughter. Before that, I asked the lady, I said, why can't you turn your camera on so I can see my daughter? Can you turn this on? Why can't you let me see my daughter? Why can I not see her face? Like, why can I not physically, I want to see her. I don't want to just hear her. I want to see. And the lady was like, oh, my phone's on 2%. My camera won't turn on. And I said, no. I said, don't matter how much your battery's on, the camera will always come on Facebook Messenger. It'll always come on. And I was like, are you okay? And I didn't hear nothing. And then all of a sudden, my daughter grabs the phone and turns the camera on just for a second, just so I could see her face. And when I did, I knew something was wrong. I called her, I called my son, I called her dad. I said, get over there now, something's wrong.
Dee's brother then went to Jennifer's to get his sister and discovered her to be almost unrecognizable. She was so battered and beat up. So he immediately took his sister from the home and contacted the police.
So what happened?
She's been hitting me and tying me up to the bed.
Who is she to you?
Jennifer.
Jennifer? What's Jennifer's last name?
I don't know.
You don't know?
We're still trying to get all that.
Okay.
She's epileptic, has grandma seizures. She's also schizophrenic.
Yeah.
So I'm really sorry that it's kind of hard.
No, it's good. No, you're good.
So
I just knew that
We'll
she
work through it.
wasn't normal.
Yeah.
She has a really bad sore on her rear. She has no skin on her rear, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It's probably the whole size of her cheek.
I'm just gonna put this on real quick, okay?
Holy shit.
Is there any way you can unbuckle her for a second so I can take all these pictures?
When did you get the phone?
Yeah.
Holy.
3909 Southeast 24th in Nell City.
You say you've been tied up to the bed?
Yes.
Is that by all, like your arms and your legs?
No, just my feet.
Just your feet?
Yes.
And tied up with what?
Tied up to a dog chain.
The dog chain?
To the bed?
Yes. Stuff.
What did she hit you with?
We can put her on her belly because she's so shaky. We're not going to
A belt, a paddle.
A belt, a paddle. Anything else?
I can't remember
You can't remember? Okay.
because of my seizures.
Real quick, okay?
Okay.
Have you been having seizures?
No.
Did she hit your feet too?
Yes.
What was she doing with the scissors?
She was hitting me
Just hitting you with
on
them?
my feet.
On your feet?
Yes.
Like the blade part?
And she was hitting me right here in my crotch.
With the scissors?
Yes.
Was she hitting them like really hard? Is she tapping you with it? Is she
was hitting
stabbing
me-
you with it?
Yeah, she was hitting me really hard.
Okay, so with the scissors. Can you tell me how big these scissors are?
How long?
Okay.
And her brother's been hitting me too.
Her brother?
Yeah.
Which brother? What's his name?
I don't really remember because I have short-term memory.
Okay.
What's the lady's name that's been hitting you?
Jennifer.
Is it Gary, Jack, or Cody?
Gary's her husband.
Gary's her husband.
Cody's her son.
Cody's her son. And then Jack is
Jack's her dad.
her dad. Is any of those anybody that hits you?
No.
None of those hit you?
No.
Okay.
Just Jennifer.
Just Jennifer.
Hey, Destiny, is the son of the lady that's been hitting you your boyfriend?
No.
By chance? No, was it just a friend?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like a brother to me.
Okay. Have they assaulted you?
No.
Have they inserted anything in you other than, like, a body part? I'm sorry, I know. Let me silence that real quick.
Did you ever ask them if you could leave?
No. I'm not allowed to and I can't drive.
Okay. Did you want to leave?
Yes, I wanted to so really bad.
The next day, on March 20th, 2025, police had a search warrant and showed up at the home Dee had been living inside. When the officer pushed open the front door of the residence on 24th Street and stepped inside this 756 square foot home, a strong odor of urine and feces immediately hit him. Rodent feces and animal fur was laying all over the house. There was also animal feces and urine of dogs and cats all over the floor. In the middle of the living room lay a cot. On the pillow of the cot, he noticed blood. There was blood on the wall and ceiling near the cot where Jennifer stated Dee had been sleeping. Near the cot, an officer also located a sea collar that also had blood and human hair where the neck would have been. A coffee table was located next to the cot, and on the table lay paper with handwritten sentences that said, "I will not touch things that are not mine because I want something." I get angry when I get caught. I will tell the truth and only the truth. Dee was made to write these sentences. The officer observed other similar punishment-type sentences written on the papers, as well as blood on these papers. Animal control had to be called in immediately due to the conditions of these animals. The living room alone looked like a scene from hell. Several animals were trapped in cages where both Cody and Dee had been sleeping. 2 cats were crammed into tiny ferret cages, one emaciated at just over 4 pounds, hermetic coat caked with dry feces. The other barely weighed 6 pounds. Nearby, 2 dogs suffered in crates stacked dangerously on top of each other. One had no food or water at all. The other had only filthy, debris-filled water. On a dresser sat a pregnant guinea pig in a barren cage. No food, no water, no mercy. Then came the bearded dragons. One aquarium held 2 of the creatures, a species that usually lives alone. One dragon had its limbs chewed off by its cage mate while it was alive. Its tail was partially missing. These solitary animals had been forced into a cannibalistic nightmare. In a smaller tank with no heat left, another dragon lay motionless. Looked like it barely clinging to life. Behind it, a larger dragon stared out with overgrown nails, its tank overflowing with waste. The entire house was a biohazard. I actually had a bearded dragon, and I think that thing lived like 15 years. It was when my kids were younger, and its name was Rosie, and she died the day that my son went to college. It's a creature that has to be taken care of, or it will die. There's a lot of needs that a bearded dragon has, and you must, fulfill all those needs. And you cannot be a neglectful person and keep these animals. There was also litter boxes overflow with months of urine and feces. Cats roamed everywhere, wild, sick, desperate. One poor cat lay motionless on a pile of dirty clothes as feces ran out of its bottom. The bathtub was filled with animal waste, The carpets in the bedroom soaked and caked with stool and urine so deeply that it just needed to be thrown away. Dogs were found caged in the bedrooms and even the garage. Many of the animals were struggling to breathe, their lungs ravaged by toxic air. In total, at least 20 neglected animals were seized from this house of horrors. Jennifer and also Sean, a man who had only been staying at the home for 5 days before Dee's brother took her, initially denied any abuse. Good thing he wasn't staying longer than 5 days because he had already abused Dee in that time period. Apparently he had the same cruel streak that Jennifer had. Cody and Jennifer's husband, Gary, and father, Jack, also denied directly abusing Dee, but they admitted something just as damning. They knew. They knew what was happening to her and did nothing to stop it. While Cody was out of town, Sean had taken over the couch that usually served as Cody's bed and slept near Dee. Jennifer admitted to officers that she had spanked Dee with a paddle. She claimed this because Dee was stealing cigarettes and vapes and not doing what she was told.
So here's the deal. Okay. I don't know if he's explained anything to you. We've had some type of incident occur here. So I don't want to go into detail about it right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But we are going to remove everybody from the house for right now. So that's kind of our next step. All right. So if you will go outside, or me and you, let's go get Dad up because we need everybody out of this house. And then we'll go from there. Okay.
Okay, what's going on?
We are going to get a search warrant. Instead of having you sign the consent to search, we're going to get a search warrant for the house. This might potentially be a crime scene. Not sure.
For what?
I don't know. But we need everybody out of the house so that we can secure this house.
Dee apparently was not allowed to speak to her family, and she was sometimes even chained to the foot of the cot for days at a time. She was chained up on this cot, where she was forced to go to the bathroom on this cot. And I know for a fact that the whole deal with abusive people, they try to get you away from your family. They don't want you to have any contact with your family. That is a big red flag in a lot of abusive situations. They want you secluded so they can do whatever they want to the victim. Dee was fed only ramen noodles, and the rare moments she was allowed to shower, it was always a cold shower. She was made to wear the sea collar or dog collar for long periods of time. Jennifer would hit Dee with paddles, scissors, and belts. Jennifer had even ripped all of Dee's toenails out with violent force. Jennifer even hit Dee in the pelvis with a hammer. Oh, can you imagine? The paddle she had hit Dee with, it was used so much, or maybe she was hit so hard that it actually caused blisters wherever she hit her. And Jennifer also ripped out Dee's nipple piercings. Ouch, that sounds painful. Jennifer would often force Dee to clean the house, and when she didn't obey, she would get abused. Jennifer's father's Jack admitted to witnessing at least one disturbing incident on Dee. Jack said he came into the living room where he saw Dee wearing the C-collar with a dog chain attached to it. Jack witnessed Jennifer and Sean leading Dee around like a dog on all fours. He stated that he told them that they needed to be careful with Dee because she was, quote, mentally. He also admitted to seeing bruises on Dee. Jennifer's husband, Gary Churchill, admitted to seeing bruises on Dee and also seeing her being abused on 3 separate occasions, but did nothing to stop the abuse. He told authorities that he should have called and reported the abuse, but never did.
But here's what I want to tell you. Your wife is in a significant amount of trouble. Yeah. Could end up with her in jail for a very, very long time.
How long? God.
I cannot answer that. I'm not going to answer that because we don't know the answer. It'd be
we don't make those decisions.
We don't make those. So,
yeah, I understand.
That's cool, man.
Serious. That's about the magnitude that we can put it in this. Held against her will? Chained to her bed? Is this real?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is sick. How could anybody do that to a human being?
We're going to show you a couple of pictures, and then I'm going to explain a few things to you, okay?
Oh, Jesus.
Drink of water.
That was... Oh my God. I never knew she was capable of that.
So you're here because we have to work out what's happened to this girl. And we think you know. And we understand that...
I had no idea.
Just wait a second, okay? We understand that you have a difficult situation. A living situation, all the kind of random people, all the animals, all the whatever. I mean, we didn't show you all the pictures, obviously. Some wouldn't be appropriate. This girl has injuries from her head to her toes. Let me finish. So just about every part of her body. She is still in the hospital. She's not getting out of the hospital for a while. She has broken bones. She has bed sores. She is dehydrated. She is malnourished. She has a laundry list of things, of injuries, of abuse, of torture. Here's the problem that I see, that I'm seeing right now. We interviewed Jack yesterday. Now we're interviewing you. And I don't believe that you and Jack have made up this perfect story where you both exactly say the same thing. I'm not suggesting that at all. But he basically said, I go to work and I drive for DoorDash and I come home and I go to my room, and you say, I go to work, which you do, I believe that, and you come home and you walk through the front door and you go to your room. Those are unmistakable injuries. You can see them from a mile away. She's covered head to toe in injuries and bruises and cuts and scrapes and lacerations and bed sores, trauma to her entire body. The part that's difficult for me is the 2 hard-working men that live in the home just manage to pass by this every day. This didn't happen in one day.
I understand that. All I do is walk through the house long enough to get to the bedroom, or from the bedroom to the front door. I'm not as observant as I'd like to be. If I had seen what you're showing me, I would have reported it myself. There is no excuse for that kind of abuse.
Let me ask the question a different way. Who did that to her?
The only person I could think of would be Jennifer, because she's home with her all the time. And she spent an awful lot of time out with her.
We know you did not hurt this girl. We know.
I know. I'm sorry that I'm repeating myself.
It's not the repeating yourself. It is absolutely unreasonable for anyone, up to and including a jury, to believe that two grown, intelligent men that lived in the home, that walked through the room where this abuse was occurring on this girl, to that extent, that no one would notice.
I did notice her hands when she burned them.
I believe that.
And like I said, a lot of times, when I'm leaving for work, I'm in such a rush that pardon the phrase, haul ass out the door.
Jack also mentioned a conversation that he had with you. You guys were going somewhere to do something, get something.
Yeah, I can't remember
what he said. When he talked about being real careful with her because she's not in the right mind or something. Challenged or something. Do you recall that conversation?
Yeah, I do. I do remember that conversation.
What was that about? What was the context of that?
Jack likes to be forewarned about stuff. Jack is concerned also, about negativity that people have as well.
That conversation didn't raise any red flags with you?
Not really.
If you were able to see the pictures of this young girl, if you were to step outside of this situation, and we were to find you on 29th Street and go, hey, look at the picture of this girl, would you believe that two grown men that lived in the same house for 2 months, walked by her multiple times a day, and never noticed these injuries? You'd go, no, I don't believe that at all. There's no possible way.
I can remember one instance where I did see her. Walking out into the kitchen, she was standing by the table, and I looked at her face. She had a black eye and a puffy cheek. And I looked at my wife and said, what happened to her? She had a seizure and fell. That's what Jennifer told me. I guess when she fell, at least that's what the story was told to me. When she fell, she hit her head on something, and I looked at my wife and I said, better be the story, because if I find out different, I'm going to report it. I do remember seeing her. She was sitting in the chair, and she looked up at me, and her face was just absolutely horrendous. And I went to my wife, and I just started yelling at her. And she told me that she never hit her. What you did to her was wrong, and you need to correct it. And I blocked it out, because the sight of seeing her was just so horrific.
What did you see? Describe her.
Her face was complete. The easiest way to put it, she looked like she went 10 rounds with Muhammad Ali. Her face was swollen. Both of her eyes were black. Her eyes were swollen. Her cheeks were swollen. And I told her then, if this doesn't stop, I'm moving out, and I'm going to have no choice but to report you.
It is clear by the condition of Dee's body that she was tortured more than we will ever clearly know. Part of Dee's upper lip was missing. Dee stated that she bit through her upper lip while she was being tortured. Her buttocks had deep bed sores from sitting in her excrement and urine for long periods of time. In fact, Jennifer took scissors and tried to cut the skin that was hanging off with these scissors. Can you imagine how much pain she was in? I mean, I've seen bed sores as a nurse that have went to the bone. It's painful because it gets to the nerves. And she was taking those scissors and cutting parts of that off. These feet were infected, missing toenails, and were black where the toenails should have been. Dee's left was swollen and purple in color. Shawn had also punched Dee in the head and face with a closed fist, which caused a fractured skull. In fact, he punched her a couple of times that we know of. Medical records showed that Dee had a fractured sternum. Her third thoracic vertebrae was fractured. She had fractures on left and right hands, fractures on left and right arms, fractured bones on left and right feet, lacerations on left eyebrow along with hemorrhage of the brain. Dee's fingertips were red and scabby and appeared to be burned. She had ligature marks on her neck, wrist, and ankles, proof of her being chained to her cot. Dee had bruises and injuries from her head to her feet in various stages of healing. Dee was diagnosed with sepsis, pneumonia, renal failure, and rhabdomyolysis. Hard to say. Rhabdomyolysis occurs when skeletal muscle is damaged, causing muscle fibers to die. This can be caused by several reasons, including being confined to an area where a person is forced to stay in a position for a prolonged amount of time. It can also be caused by severe beatings. Anything stressful to your body can cause it. Dee endured both. The condition of Dee's body told a story more horrifying than words could fully capture. This was not simple abuse. This was prolonged, calculated torture. The kind that leaves scars on the soul as deep as the ones carved into the flesh. Probably deeper. A young woman reduced to a chained, broken animal by a person who promised to be her caretaker. And other men that lived in the home, including one that claimed to be her best friend, who just watched this woman being tortured and did and said nothing. In just a few more days, Dee would have been dead. Dee fought through hell and came out of the other side. Her strength is a testament to the human spirit's refusal to die. Dee, I hope you're living your best life now and was able to receive the counseling that you need, although you can never fully get over something like this. It appears Sean Wengland, the guy that hit her, was there just for 5 days and he punched her a couple of times. Well, he pled guilty and was given a 10-year suspended sentence. And it looks like the first 6 months he spent in the Oklahoma City jail. Jennifer Wendt and CODY LINNELL have pled not guilty, and there will be a trial. I can't imagine the things that the jury will hear during that trial. I know the court affidavit barely scratched the surface of what actually happened to Dee by evidence of all the bones that were broken in her body. And what the jury's going to have to listen to, I can't imagine. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine what it would take to break all those bones in her body. Jennifer father's Jack actually couldn't find anything that happened to him. I know he's arrested because I've seen it in the body cam, but I don't think he stayed in jail very long. What makes this case even more infuriating was there was hardly any local media coverage, like I said. A story this shocking, the torture of an intellectually disabled woman in this Dell City home, should have made headlines for weeks. Instead, it barely made ripples. I mean, I've seen a few reports from Newsline and then silence. How many other Dees are suffering right now because stories like this get buried and forgotten? Dee's story deserves to be screamed from the rooftops so that no other vulnerable person can be erased in silence. I'd like you to drop a message of support for Dee in the comments. That way, if Dee did actually watch this video, she could see how many people cared. So if you'd like to see the full body cam footage, I will drop the link in my comments for that. If you'd like to hear an update on my husband, please stay. If not, I'll see you next time at The Murder She Shed. Medical care sucks. Okay, he had the biopsy. They just gave him a core needle biopsy, which means they went into that lymph node that was close to the surface. He has multiple lymph nodes that appear to be malignant. Let's put it that way. So they picked one that was closest to the surface. They went in, they pulled some liquid out. It seemed to be pretty firm. They didn't get a lot of liquid out. So when they went to run it under the microscope or whatever, they couldn't tell a lot about it. They said it did have atypical cells. It appears to be B-cell lymphoma. They don't know what type of B-cell lymphoma. I guess there's, more aggressive ones and slower ones. And so what they're going to have to do, as they told us, they're going to have to go back in and take the whole lymph node out. Why they didn't do that to begin with, I don't know. Now we have to pay for 2 procedures. Hopefully our insurance will pick up most of it. So they're going to go back in and take out that lymph node. And they're supposed to call him sometime this week so we can do that. And then get his official diagnosis so we can know what to do from there. I guess I'll let you know in the future if I find anything out. Continue to pray for us. It's been very stressful here lately. I'm a more realistic person, and I think realistically. And my husband wants to deny anything that's going on. Just everybody takes something a little differently and processes it in their brain a little differently. And being a nurse, I know so much about medical. I think that makes it even scarier for me, or a retired nurse. Anyway, you guys pray for us, and I guess I'll see you next time at the Murder She Shed. Simon says bye, and that he loves you, and we'll see you next time at the Murder She Shed. We see you next time. Max is behind me. So we love you. And I love my mama. It was such a good little boy. Such a good. Don't you knock my tea over? I'd appreciate that for knock my tea over. Yeah. Here comes Max. He's gonna tell you bye too. Simon will let him. Where you at, Max? Oh, there you are. Come here and squeeze your face over here, bub. Let them see you. Max says bye. Simon says bye. Yeah, we're gonna go. Boom, boom. Ride the four-wheeler. If you know what that means. I think they were just waiting for me to put those ducks up. I think they're halfway scared of those ducks. Because them ducks guard the feeder. They want that corn for themselves. That's hilarious. Usually there's a turkey out here too. I don't see her. My duck. And the deer. I think they're hiding in the bushes. There. Oh, they're walking back over here now. They decided they'd hightail it. Y'all going the wrong way. Go to your pen. No, you're not going that water. You got water in your pen. Get in there. I gave you food. Got some spinach and goldfish today. I may not like neither. 3, 6, 7. Y'all here.
There's not enough. Why can't I get a little bit of trust? I'm broken.